Well, while the weather is quiet, you guys know I'm always looking for something to track. And right now, this time last week, we were below average, and that's about 7 days in a row of below average temperatures. Now, we look at the temperature change over the last 24 hours. We always look at these temperatures over the last 24 hours because we're watching the gradual increase in daytime heating. Now, we've slowly pushed up into those mid-90s, and then we're cooling off pretty nicely, where around this time last week, that's about as warm as we've gotten. Now, this stable conditions let us know the atmosphere is definitely on the recharge. Now, how severe is it going to be? We're not quite sure. We're waiting on this hot, dry pressure to push out of the area. 84 right now here in San Angelo. Everybody else in those upper 70s across the entire region. I always look for 10 degrees because I'm looking for a standard heating and cooling rate under a pretty standard atmosphere. Right now, even though things are below average, we're still seeing those temperatures about 4 degrees apart. 82 up there in Sterling City and Robert Lee, 78 down there in Junction. Everybody else pretty comfortable right now, and it's shaping up for a pretty great Friday night and a great weekend for Melon Fest. And while we look at those dew points and humidity indices, they're up at that 50 and that 60% mark. Now, they've leveled out down there in Mason, of course, in those 70s, but you're seeing those dew points in those 50s and those 60s across the entire board. Again, last time this week, we were nearing 100% saturation across the entire region with some widespread rain. Now, we're waiting on the drought monitor to come out tomorrow to see just how much of an impact it had. Hopefully a good amount. Now, this is the upper level pattern going into tomorrow. You can see sort of how loose the gradient is right now. So some calm conditions while we're watching some more of this water vapor suppressive activity across the entire region. Right behind it, pretty strong ridging. You can see that monsoonal flow across Arizona. Then this big pocket of dry air over California has me pretty concerned because it could push its way into the Concho Valley by as early as next week. If you saw us earlier, it could crawl up into the triple digits. Here as we watch this moisture make its way across the entire Gulf Coast region, we're keeping our eye on that cold front, that dry air that could slide in from California and hold a lot of this cloud cover off towards the east. I don't think we're going to see much more rain activity well into this weekend. Severe weather outlook showing you how it's still on just the edge of the Concho Valley, while it's pretty much taking over the Rocky Mountains, then taking its time across the Gulf Coast region. Again, we're watching the water vapor make its trail. And here you can see where the dry air is sort of correlating all the way down to the surface. There we see lots of flash flooding in that classic monsoonal fashion. This severe thunderstorm watch has been issued for that part of Montana all day, while we're still watching an impressive amount of moisture make its way across up into about Arkansas. We're going to take you into the region right now to give you a better idea of where this cloud cover is going to shape up for that great Friday night. And of course, Melon Fest, you're going to watch a lot of this dry air really hold things in that standard rate. Now, you've heard about compressional heating or downslope heating. That's exactly what's taking place, along with some dry air. You watch this cloud cover sort of fight back and forth between that southeasterly flow and that northwesterly flow we've seen all week. That's going to continue to hold us down in these below average temperatures, but for how long, not quite sure. So tonight, back down below average, still a great night. Get out there to enjoy it. You only have a couple hours left. Then tomorrow, of course, another below average day, but we're keeping an eye on how long it's going to stay this way. We're going to gently crawl back up into those triple digits as we make our way towards the end of July. August right around the corner. We'll see just how hot it gets, but as you can take a good look through the rest of the week into the weekend, it's going to be in those upper 90s. And take a good look at those lows, gently crawling up right behind it into those mid 70s. Stay tuned. More for the break. You're watching KSAN News at 10.